Hi students, I am Ricaplaza and you can call me teacher Nina. So I am your teacher for a day. So today I'm going to discuss about the period of adolescence. So the stages of development. Early adolescence 10 to 13 years old. Rapid physical growth and puberty begin. Next is increased self-awareness and concern about appearance. Next is development of independence from parents begins. So these stages is the beginning of puberty where the child experience had rapid physical growth, hormonal change, and also they are started becoming more aware of their appearance and being seeking independence from parents even though they still rely on their family's support. For example, 12 years old may feel confused about um, her height. Then she is taller than her classmate. Or the 13 years old boy start wanting to pick up his own clothes instead of wearing what his parents choose. So next is the middle adolescence, 14 to 17 years old. So continue physical changes and emotional fluctuations. Next is stronger peer influence and identify exploration. So this stage is the physical changes continue and emotion becoming more intense because to hormonal fluctuations. So peer relationships become more important as a teenagers because teenagers is we need explore their identity or her personality and also they are taking risks as they are test boundaries. So for example 16 years old might experiment experiment different hairstyle or fashion so that um, that personality improve as an individual then also influence their friends or they are friends or the society. The next is the late adolescence 18 to 19 years old. Physical maturity is reached. Next is more sustainable of identity and personal values so that these stages is the physical growth and also develop you as individual on how stronger you are. For example, 18 years old graduating high school may decided to move out for college. So that matter is physical growth as an individual.
Because you develop your fears as an individual.
This is the example of late adolescence, 18 to 19 years.
So next, let's move forward to physical change. Physical changes, development of primary and secondary sexual characteristic, hormonal changes affecting mood and behavior. So adolescents experience significant biological transformation due to poverty, which is impact their physical appearance, emotion, and behavior. For example, primary sexual characteristic, a girl's menstrual cycle begins, or a boy, his voice depends as his vocal cords grow. So next is secondary sexual characteristic. Development of facial hair in a boys or the breast in the girls. Next is hormonal changes. Increased production of testosterone or estrogen can cause mood swing, acne, and increased appetite. So next is psychological and emotional changes. Increase emotional sensitivity and mood swing. So that their emotion is changed due to hormonal changes. So that making them more sensitive or reactive as because due to hormonal changes. So for example, 15 years old might feel extremely happy one moment and then suddenly upset without a clear reaction reason. Then Because of that, due to hormonal changes, then making them more sensitive or reactive. So last is social change, shift from people influence to peer influence. So so that teenagers more on peer relationship than on family guidance. For example, 14 years old might start listening a certain type of music, but she or she influenced to her at, or to his classmates. So after the lesson that we tackled about, we all know that adolescence is the critical stage of human development that shape as an individual future. Parents, teachers, and peers plays a vital role in helping adolescents navigate this complex period successful. So that's it for today.
Hello class, I am Ñino Caberiana, your teacher for today. But you can call me Teacher Nino. So, my topic that I want to discuss is stages of human literacy appreciation. So, literacy appreciation refers to the development of an individual's ability to engage with, understand, and appreciate various forms of written and spoken language. It progresses through different stages as a person matures, influenced by education, exposure, and personal interests. So, when you hear literacy appreciation, what comes on your mind? So, literary appreciation is about developing the skill to actively engage and value both written and spoken language. This means not only understanding what is being communicated but also enjoying and recognizing its deeper meaning or beauty. There are 5 stages of human literacy appreciation. First, early childhood or pre-literacy stage. Exposure to books, storytelling, and visual literacy. At this stage, children are exposed to stories, picture books, and illustrations. They begin to associate pictures with meaning, even before that can fully understand text. For example, a child might look at a picture book about animals and point to a dog, saying woof when they recognize it. Even though they can't read the word dog. Development of listening skills and recognition of words. Children begin to recognize familiar words or sounds through repetitive listening, often associated with rhymes and stories. For example, a child listens to a parent reading the same story every night and begin to say few words along with the reader, such as once upon a time when the story begins. Interest in pictures and associating them with meaning. So, children understand that pictures can tell a story or represent objects, and they start to associate visuals with words and meanings. For example, a child sees a picture of an apple and says apple because they know what it is. And the second stages is emergent literacy or preschool to early elementary. Beginning to recognize letters, sounds, and simple words. At this stage, children start to understand the connection between letters and sounds and can recognize a few simple words like cat or dog. For example, a preschooler may recognize the letter A, and now it makes the sound A as an apple and begin identifying other letters in the alphabet. Early writing attempts such scribbling and forming letters. Children start experimenting with writing, making scribbles that mimic letters or numbers and gradually forming legible shapes. For example, a child writes their name by attempting to make letters they've seen before like A and M, even if they don't form them perfectly. Development of phonemic awareness and basic comprehension. They start understanding how sounds form words and can grasp the basic ideas of a simple story. For example, a child might sound out words like bat or pin and understand a simple story about a dog going to a park. And the third stage is basic literacy or elementary to middle school. Ability to read and write simple text with comprehension. By this stage, children can read and understand simple sentences or paragraphs and can write short stories or descriptions. For example, a 7-year-old can read a short chapter book like Charlotte's Web and explain the main ideas and characters. Growth in vocabulary and understanding of grammar. Their vocabulary expands and they learn basic grammar rules such as sentence structure and punctuation. Example: a child may use more varied vocabulary when writing, saying the cat quickly ran instead of just the cat ran. Development of personal preferences in reading materials. At this stage, children start to show an interest in specific genres such as fantasy or adventure and prefer certain authors or series. Example: a child may begin to prefer reading books about dinosaurs or space rather than general picture books.
So, hello class. I am Rex Sapanta, so you can call me Teacher Rex. So I will going to discuss the number 4 and 5 in stage of human literacy appreciation. So, stage 4, intermediate literacy or middle school to high school. So, students can analyze and interpret more complex text. Exposure to different literary genres like fiction or non-fiction poetry. And drama allows them to develop critical thinking skills and write essays or reports expressing their thoughts and opinions. For example, a high school student, Romeo and Juliet, and writes an essay discussing the themes of love and faith in the play. They are able to critically analyze the text and understand its deeper meanings. So, going to stage 5, advanced literacy or adulthood. As adults in the individual ages deeply with literature, complex text, and digital media. They can critically evaluate and discuss challenging content, enjoying literature for both intellectual and emotional enrichment. Lifelong learning is a key part of this stage. For example, an adult reads a challenging novel like Ulysses by James Joyce and engaged in a book club discussion about its narrative style, themes, and symbolism. They also regularly read articles, scholarly texts, or participate in online forums discussing various topics. Conclusion. The journey of literacy appreciation is a lifelong process that evolves with education and experience. So, encouraging reading and exposure to, to literature at every stage helps develop a deeper understanding and enjoyment of the written word. So, thank you.
Welcome to this episode of Learning. So here we are going to have our video reporting where we delve into the transformative journey of adolescence and its connection to literary appreciation. So first, we'll explore the period of adolescence. So it is a critical stage of growth that shapes both personal identity and intellectual development. And we'll also take a look at the stages of human literacy appreciation, understanding how our relationship with the reading and interpretation evolves over time. And moving forward, we'll discuss the process of becoming a literary critic, highlighting the skills needed to evaluate and analyze literature. And finally, we'll examine the modern adolescent, how they interact with literature today, and how cultural and social factors influence their literary experiences. So, join us as we uncover the dynamic intersection of growth, literature, and critical thinking. So hello everyone. So our topic is all about on becoming a literary critique. So here we have literary critique. So what is literary critique? So it is a person who analyzes, interprets, and evaluates literature. So I will give you the three difference of what is a critique, and critiquing. So first we have the critic. So it is the person who analyzes and evaluates and interprets work of art, literature, or other creative fields. And a critic is a detailed analysis and assessment of something. So it is often offering both positive and negative feedback. And also for critiquing, so this is the act of analyzing and providing feedback on something. So it is often with a focus on improving or offering insights. So here we have the roles of literary critique. So first we have is the evaluating literature. So evaluating literature, so a critic's job is to look beyond the plot and examine deeper themes, character development, language, and more. So it basically means that it helps readers understand the deeper meanings, themes, and cultural significance of a text. Through evaluation, critics assess the quality, effectiveness, and impact of the work, offering insights that enhance appreciation and comprehension. So by analyzing elements like plot, character, style, and symbolism, so the critics provide a broader perspective, so helping readers and scholars engage with literature in more meaningful ways. Next we have is the objectivity and subjectivity. So a critic must balance their personal views while offering insights that help others understand the book's wider meaning. So it basically means that these two, the objectivity and subjectivity, are important roles of for a literary critique because they help balance personal interpretation with a fair, reasoned analysis of a text. So objectivity, so it allows critics to assess a work based on its merits. So considering factors like structure, technique, and historical context, so it helps ensure the critique is grounded in the text itself rather than influenced by personal biases. So for subjectivity, so it allows critics to bring their own perspectives, so and also emotions and personal interpretation to the work. So literature often evokes different responses based on individual experiences, and subjectivity enables critics to explore these unique connections. So, together, these roles help critics offer a well rounded and insightful evaluation of literature that is both grounded in the text and enriched by personal perspective. So next is that we are going to tackle about the key elements to critique in children's and adolescent literature. So first is the theme. So children's and adolescent books often deal with coming of age themes, identity, friendship, and overcoming obstacles. So basically means that theme is crucial in children's and adolescent literature because it conveys important lessons and values. So critiquing the theme helps assess how well the text addresses relevant issues for young readers and influences their understanding of the world. So I have here an example. So in Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, so the theme of friendship and selfishness is explored through the bond between Wilbur and Charlotte. So that's it. So next one is the character development. So characters in children's literature and often undergo significant personal growth. So it basically means that character development is key in children's adolescent literature because it helps young readers relate to the characters and learn from their growth. So critiquing how characters evolve allows critics to assess how well the story models personal development, decision making, and emotional growth, so which are essential for the young reader's own social and emotional development. So next one, we have the language and style. So children's literature uses simpler language. So but still needs to engage the reader and conveys complex emotions. So it is because they determine how accessible and engaging the text is for young readers. So the choice of language impacts comprehension, while style influences the tone, pace, and emotional connection. So critiquing these aspects helps assess how will the language fits the age group and how effectively it communicates themes and emotions in a way that resonates with children and adolescents. And lastly, we have the moral and educational lesson. So many children's books contain important lessons, whether it's about kindness, loyalty, honesty, or perseverance. So it basically means that these works often aim to teach values, ethics, and social behavior. So, critiquing the moral lesson helps evaluate whether it is appropriate or clearly conveyed and effectively integrated into the story. So, it is also assesses how well the lesson encourages positive development and critical thinking in young readers. So, and finally, we are going to tackle about on becoming a literary critic. So, how to become a literary critic. So, first, we have the reading widely and deeply. So, a critique must read a wide variety of books to understand trends, genres, and diverse perspectives within the fields. So, it is because it provides a broad understanding of different genres, styles, and cultural contexts. So, it also helps critics recognize patterns, trends, and diverse perspectives in literature. So, the more a critic reads, the more equipped they are to analyze and compare works. So, offering insightful and well rounded evaluations, so the deep reading also enhances their ability to engage with text on a deeper level, understanding nuance, meanings, and techniques. So next one, we have the understanding the audience. So children and adolescents have different cognitive and emotional development. So yeah, so a critique must keep in mind what is suitable and meaningful for their age. So understanding the audience is crucial for literary critic because it helps them assess how well a work communicates with its intended readers. So, a critic must consider how different age groups, cultural backgrounds, or social context influence the interpretation and impact of a text. So, recognizing the audience, so it allows critics to evaluate whether a work is engaging, accessible, and effective in 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 conveying its themes and messages to those it was meant for. So, for example, so a critic is evaluating Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So it might assess how the book resonates with middle school students by focusing on humor, awkwardness, and social struggles. So, lastly, is applying critical theories. So, a literary critic applies various lenses like feminism, psychoanalysis, and cultural criticism to explore different aspects of literature. So, applying critical theories is very important for a literary critique because it provides frameworks for analyzing and interpreting texts from various perspectives. Theories like feminism, what else? Marxism, psychoanalysis, post-colonialism. So this helps critics uncover deeper meanings, social context, and underlying power dynamics in literature. So by using these theories, so critics can offer more nuanced and diverse evaluations, so making their analysis more thorough and insightful. So to conclude everything on my topic on becoming a literary critic, so encouraging young readers to think critically about the books they read and reflect on themes, character growth, and messages within them. So becoming a literary critic in children's and adolescent literature is a valuable skill that fosters a deeper appreciation of stories and their impact on young minds. So by following these guidelines, so one can become a thoughtful and insightful literary critic who provides valuable analysis on the books that shape children and adolescents. Thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone. So I am the one to discuss our last topic. So our last topic is about modern adolescence reading. So what is modern adolescence reading? So the modern adolescence reading is how young people today enjoy books and stories. So this experience is shaped by culture, technology, and the other types of books available. So number one is the variety of genres and formats. So the first is the young adult books. So this is popular for relatable themes like friendship and identity. So the example of the story is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So the story is about kanaang two teens who fell in love while dealing with serious health issues. So the next is the graphic novels and comics. Are you familiar with comics? In comics, the stories have pictures with text. Next is the digital reading. So ebooks and online stories are easily accessible on devices. Example of the stories is in Wattpad, The Dosage of Serotonin by Angsty D. So in this story, it talks about sacrifices, waiting for the right time, and trusting God. So if you want to learn more, you can read the stories of Angsty D. You can learn a lot of her stories about mental health, like that. The number two is the technology reading habits. So first is reading on screen. So alters focus on reading durations. So teens often read their phones, tablets, and computers. So we can change how they focus. For example, some teens read in Kindle or in TikTok. TikTok has stories also. They call it AO. In Facebook, they also have stories. There's group in Facebook that they posted a lot of stories. So some were read those stories. So I'm also the one of those. Yes. Next is fan culture. So fans create a fan fiction and art connecting with others who share their interests. So the third one is the cultural and social awareness. So The first is diverse stories. So readers seek books that reflects various cultures and addresses issues like race and mental health. Next is the fourth. It is reading communities and engagement. So the first one is a book clubs facilitate discussions and sharing of perspectives. So some teens join clubs to discuss books together. So this can happen at school or online. So not all teens have the same access to books. Programs that provide free books to schools or communities help ensure everyone can read. So not all teens have books. So libraries can help to everyone so that they can read books that is free. And the fifth one is the challenges and opportunities. So the first is attention span. It is a digital distraction can hinder focus, but engaging stories can still captivate. So the sixth and the last one is educational approaches. So the first is using modern texts. So teachers incorporate contemporary literature, including graphic novels, to engage students. So the teachers are using contemporary books to connect with students. For example, they might teach the perks of being a wildflower. So by Stephen, so the teachers are using contemporary books to connect with students. So the next one is the next and the last one is the critical thinking. So it's encouraging analysis of text, helps teens understand diverse viewpoints and societal impacts. So teaching teens to think about what they read helps them understand different viewpoints. So those are my reports all about. So again, modern adolescence is diverse and influenced by technology and social issues. By encouraging a love for reading and providing access to different types of literature, parents and teachers can help teens to develop lifelong appreciation for books and stories. So that's the end of our discussion. Thank you for your time watching our video, and we hope that you learn or get something on our discussion. Goodbye.